What would happen if the sun suddenly disappeared? How long could Earth survive? Here's a terrifying fact. For the first 8 minutes, you wouldn't notice anything at all. Sunlight takes 8 minutes to reach Earth. Those 8 minutes are the universe's final mercy and its cruelest deception. After 8 minutes, the sky would suddenly go dark. Not an eclipse, not a power outage, but eternal darkness. Within a week, temperatures would plunge to minus 18 degrees Celsius. After a month, minus 40 degrees Celsius. After a year, minus 100 degrees Celsius. Every breath you exhale would instantly turn into ice crystals. The oceans would begin freezing from the surface into massive layers of ice. All plant life would die. But the most terrifying part isn't the cold. Without the sun's gravity, Earth would be flung into space at about 30 kilometers per second, becoming a rogue planet drifting endlessly through the darkness. And yet, strangely, scientists have found that humanity wouldn't go extinct immediately. Deep inside Earth lies a hidden life support system that could completely change how you understand survival limits. This secret lies 6,000 kilometers beneath your feet. Earth's inner core reaches temperatures of about 6,000 degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the sun. This massive fireball constantly releases heat. Scientists estimate that Earth's internal heat could last for billions of years. Even if the sun vanished, this underground fire wouldn't go out. In a way, it is Earth's backup Sunday. But here's the problem. Most of that heat is trapped beneath the thick crust and never reaches the surface. So what use is it to us? The answer lies in the deep ocean. In 1977, the American submersible Alvin discovered something astonishing. 2,500 meters beneath the Pacific Ocean, hydrothermal vents, chimneys spewing superheated water at temperatures up to 400 degrees Celsius. Even more bizarre, this pitch-black, high-pressure, toxic environment was teeming with life. Giant tube worms, pale crabs, and strange organisms clustered densely around the vents. These creatures have never seen a single ray of sunlight, yet they thrive. This is a hydrothermal vent ecosystem, one that doesn't rely on the sun at all. So how do they survive? Bacteria. Near these vents live special bacteria that convert sulfur compounds into energy. Other organisms feed on these bacteria, forming a complete food chain completely independent of sunlight. Scientists call this the dark food chain. Now you understand. If the sun disappeared, Earth's surface would freeze into a wasteland, but deep in the oceans, warm liquid water would remain. Hydrothermal vents would continue erupting. Bacteria would keep multiplying. This dark ecosystem would survive. In a sense, life wouldn't go extinct. But humans wouldn't be part of it. We are too fragile. We need air, fresh water, food, and suitable temperatures. Without the sun, these disappear one by one. Let's start with air. About 70% of Earth's oxygen comes from ocean algae through photosynthesis. Without sunlight, algae die, and oxygen production stops. Fortunately, the existing oxygen in the atmosphere could last thousands of years, so that's not the most urgent problem. Food is worse. Plants would die within a week. Herbivores would starve within a month. Carnivores might last a few more months. The entire food chain would collapse like dominoes. Human food reserves might last a year, but after that, the real killer is temperature. 3 days after the sun disappears, temperatures on Earth's night side would drop below freezing. After a week, the global average would hit minus 18 degrees Celsius like Antarctica and winter. After a month, minus 40 degrees Celsius. Exposed skin would freeze in minutes. After a year, minus 100 degrees Celsius. Throw a cup of boiling water into the air, and it would freeze before hitting the ground. After 2 years, minus 200 degrees Celsius. Oxygen and nitrogen in the atmosphere would begin to liquefy and fall like rain. What you inhale wouldn't be air anymore, but liquid gas. But would humanity just give up? No. Scientists have already considered this scenario. If the sun vanished, the only option would be to go underground. For every 100 meters you go down, the temperature rises by about 3 degrees Celsius. At a depth of 3 kilometers, temperatures could reach around 90 degrees Celsius, enough to sustain underground cities. Heating, power generation, agriculture, like the underground cities in the Wandering Earth, are theoretically possible. But reality is harsher than fiction. The deepest mines today are only about 4 kilometers deep, and they can hold very few people. If the sun disappeared tomorrow, only tens of thousands might make it underground. The remaining 8 billion would be left on the surface to die. And even underground cities wouldn't last forever. Geothermal energy, though vast, would eventually decline with continuous use. Scientists estimate a medium-sized underground city could survive for only a few hundred years. After that, humanity would need new energy or a new home. So what would Earth become in the end? After 100 years, surface temperatures would stabilize around minus 200 degrees Celsius. The atmosphere would shrink, leaving only a thin layer. The ozone layer would disappear. Cosmic radiation would bombard the surface. All traces of human civilization would be buried beneath ice. No one would ever know that life once existed here. But deep in the ocean, it would still be warm. Hydrothermal vents would continue releasing 400 degrees Celsius water. Bacteria would keep feeding on sulfur. Tubeworms and other creatures would continue reproducing in the dark. They would never know that sunlight once existed, that Earth was once blue, or that a species called humans once ruled this planet. But all of this is just a scientific hypothesis. In reality, the sun won't suddenly disappear. It has about 5 billion years of life left, more than enough time for humanity to develop technologies to leave the solar system. The real threat isn't the sun disappearing. It's that in about 1 billion years, the sun will grow brighter and Earth will be scorched dry. If humanity wants to survive, we will have to leave Earth and find a new home. So what's the real answer? If the sun disappeared, life on Earth's surface might last only a few years, but deep-sea life could survive for billions more. Earth doesn't need the sun to sustain life. Only we do. We think we are the masters of Earth, but in truth, we are just parasites of the Sunday. Without it, we are nothing. Meanwhile, those deep-sea bacteria are the true masters of survival. They don't need sunlight. They don't need oxygen, just a little heat, and they can live for billions of years. That is the most powerful form of life. And this knowledge matters, because it tells us that Earth is not the only place where life can exist. Beneath the icy crust of Jupiter's moon Europa and Saturn's moon Enceladus, there may be liquid oceans and possibly hydrothermal vents, bacteria, even life. We are not alone in the universe. The sun is just one possibility for life, not the only one.